In the previous analysis of heat conduction in a road, we have a computed value using the parallel differential equation model and the original temperature. Suppose the problem is to find out the maximum error. An error is the difference between the computed value and the original value. So before we proceed to further discussion on the original problem, let's rewind the associative binary operator concept. Hope you remember that. The associative property states that you can add or multiply regardless of how the numbers are grouped. Within an expression containing two or more occurrences in a row of the same associative operator, the order in which the operations are performed does not matter as long as the sequence of the operands are not changed. Let's say addition is an associative binary operator. As you can see that 4 plus 2 will be equal to 4 plus 2 plus 2. But a subtraction is not an associative binary operator. As you can see that 4 minus 2 minus 1, which will be equal to 3, whereas in case of 4 minus 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1. So as subtraction is not an associative binary operator. So finding the maximum of certain values or finding the maximum among the values is also an associative operator. Here we are going to use a terminology called reduction operation. Given a set of values a0, a1, a2 up to an minus 1, a reduction operation is said to be a0, the operator a1, the operator a2 up to an minus 1. The reduction operation is a type of operator which is very commonly used in parallel programming to reduce the elements of an array into a single result. Reduction operators are associative and often but not necessarily commutative. Here we need to find the maximum of certain set of values. So how to solve it parallelly using Foster's design methodology. So this is our second case study. Naturally, the first step is obvious, which is partitioning. Here we have n values. Naturally, the most primitive task is the value itself. We will divide the entire problem as finely as possible and associate precisely one value to one task. So each task is the value itself. A task cannot ask the value stored in another task directly. They need channels to communicate. In order to deduce the communication pattern, we need to identify the pair which are communicating. Once the sum value is obtained from a pair, we are interested in only the sum to proceed further. So what we are going to do is we are going to add certain set of values in this example. So we will try to evolve the parallelization from bottom up. At the end of communication, we need only one processor to store the final sum. So if we have n minus 1 task at one side and one task which finally stores the value. So let's try to find out the time required. If lambda is the time required to send and receive an element and chi is the time to perform the addition, we can see that it will take n minus 1 into lambda plus chi. So just a step before, this step would have been 2 steps of n by 2 minus 1 task executing parallelly. So the time taken naturally will be n by 2 into lambda plus chi for each of them. And finally, 1 lambda for this send and receive. Beforehand, it would have been 4 n by 4 minus 1 task executing parallelly. So here the time taken will be each one will have n by 4 lambda plus x. And there will be 2 lambdas. Why? This will happen concurrently. So it will happen in lambda time. And again, this communication needs one more lambda. That means 2 lambda. Finally, the total time taken is n by 4 into lambda plus chi plus 2 lambda. So we will try to explain this with an example also. Here you need to familiarize with the concept of binomial tree communication pattern. One of the most commonly encountered communication pattern in parallel algorithm design. So hope you remember the hypercube learned in interconnection networks. An 8-node binomial tree is a subgraph of the 8-node hypercube. We will further elaborate on this. Let there be 16 points to be summed up. Each point is the vertex of a 16-node hypercube. As a first step, Each pair of processes communicate. One sends the value, one receives the value and add. As you can see, all these 8 pairs communicate to each other. One sends the value and other receives the value and add it. Finally, in the next step, you can see each of these processes save the new sum. Now let's see, the next set of communication happens between these pairs. As you can see, one processor is sending the value to the other. Now, each of these sums are stored in 4 different processes. Now we have 2 pairs communicating to each other, and in the next step, we have the sums stored in 2 different processes. Finally, the communication happens between these 2 processes and the sum will be saved here. Now, how to make it a binomial tree? For that, you have to see the communication pattern as like this. You can see that if we consider each vertex as a vertex of a hypercube, this is the type of communication happens between them. Now you can see that whatever we have done has become part of a hypercube. This is what you call a binomial tree. So what if the number of elements is not a power of 2? Let's take an example and evaluate the time required. We have 6 elements which is not a power of 2 and 4 different processes. So initial steps assigns the 4 values to 4 different processes. You can see these are the 4 processes. Now what they do is they will sum up the value and save the values in one of those processes for each pair. Now in the second step, you can see that 2 different processes are free and it will take the value 5 and 6, and the rest of the 2 processes will take 3 and 7. In the next step, what they do is they will sum up the value 10 and 11 here. Finally, in the third step, we have only 2 processes communicating to each other, and finally one of the processor saves the value of 21. See, you can see that there were 6 values, 4 different processes, and the time taken will be the floor value of log n, which is log 6. Naturally, the floor value is 2 plus 1, which is 3 steps. As you can see, there are 3 steps involved. So final step is agglomeration and mapping in Foster's design methodology. Let there are p processes and n values, and p is much less than n. For the sake of simplicity, we will keep p as a power of 2. Here the number of tasks is static. Computation per task is very constant and the communication pattern is regular. Naturally, we need to agglomerate to minimize the communication between processes. So you can see that we have given 16 values to 4 processes, that n by p, that is 16 by 4, 4 values to each of these processes. What they do is they sum up the value within itself, and finally the communication happens between these 2 processes and one more communication between this set of processes. So what we can do is the divide n by p, that many values will be assigned to each processor, and each processor will calculate the sum of its values, and the communication happens between the processors as in a binomial tree. Finally, we'll conclude with the analysis. First, we'll consider the time required by each processor. If they are provided with n by p values, for the concurrent execution, they need n by p minus 1 into chi times, if chi is the time required for addition. So once the individual sums are ready, see n by p minus 1 into chi. So once the individual sums are ready, we need to communicate further with each processes as in the communication happening in binomial tree. If chi is the time needed to do the binary operation, and lambda is the time needed to send and receive the values, and if there are log p steps required, you can see that it will be log p, the upper seal value, into lambda plus chi, where lambda is the time required for sending and receiving, and chi is the time to do the addition. Finally, the total time will be the flow seal value of n by p minus p into chi plus log p into lambda plus chi time is required. So we'll conclude the session here and we'll continue with the third case study in the next session.